Hey guys, it's Megan here, the Faithful Fibromyalgia Warrior, known also as Healing Foods Coach. Just was thinking about this today, and the video I wanted to make and share with you guys is all about the importance of patience, okay? Patience. The simplest thing, sometimes the hardest thing to put into practice. What do I mean? Well, whether we are just starting our journeys of an animal-based, low carb, or even no carb way of eating, in other words, whether you're eating a low carb, a keto, ketovore, carnivore, or lion type of diet, if you're only starting, actually, even if you've been doing it for some time, we have to be patient with ourselves because we're human beings. And even if we are eating what we have come to see as the perfect way for us, sometimes we'll slip up. We make poor choices. We eat things that either we didn't know would affect us and that do, and we need time to recover, or we eat something we know isn't good for us, but we want to have it anyways. For example, in my case, if I was to slide back out and have dairy, I'd feel awful, but I need to be patient. I would need in that, I haven't, but I'm just saying, as an example, I would have to be patient, forgive myself, and continue on. As with all situations in life, right? We can still have sickness. We can still have injuries, of course. We can have job loss, relationship breakdowns, challenges with other people. All sorts of things happen to us, whether or not we are following this way of eating. And just because, and I would add to that, we might be faithful believers, praying, meditating, doing our best to honor and walk with God, and stuff will still happen to us. Why? Because we are not promised a life without challenge. We're not. And if you guys are anything like me, as much as it's understood, I understand that intellectually, but when I have challenging situations come up in my life, I still find it difficult at times to stay faithful and carry on and to be patient with myself. But we have to. And I wanted to share this because this isn't just about in the way of deciding what to eat and when to eat it, but it's being patient with ourselves. For example, if we're trying to reverse or improve or heal from numerous health conditions, be they autoimmune, be they mental health issues, it will take time. It will take time. I can't tell you how long it will take because we're all different. And what might have taken you 40 years plus to get to that state, it's going to take more than a minute to start improving. Stick with an animal-based diet because it will help and you will feel better, but it will take some time. It took close to 4 years before my nails, my fingernails and toenails started to look healthy, before my teeth, the enamel was replenished on my front teeth, before my hair stopped falling out all the time. That took time, and I had to be patient and keep doing and eating the things that were nourishing my body. And just because we can't see God working to heal us and help our health improve doesn't mean he's not. Just because we can't see it doesn't mean it's not happening. In fact, a good majority of my healing was happening inside my physical body that I couldn't see. Removing the brain fog, getting rid of the inflammation, getting rid of the gut issues, helping me to manage and heal my crippling anxiety and my depression and my bulimia, and I mention those things specifically, does that mean I never struggle with occasionally feeling like, oh, I don't know if this looks good on me? Am I bloated? Do I look fat? Those moments pop in my head from time to time, but they don't rule my life. And I can very quickly ignore them or address them as lies and keep going. You know, we all have moments where we get anxious, some of it for very good reason. There's been a horrible accident, or someone in the family is deathly ill, or a friend is in hospital. Those cause us to have anxious feelings, but it doesn't control my life like it used to. And as far as depression, we all have times where we feel low and sad and down, but it doesn't take over my life. But I had to work at it, and I had to learn to be patient, and I still have to work at it regularly. And when I'm spending time grateful for all God has done, when I'm spending time praying and meditating and practicing mindfulness and just being comfortable and at peace with what I do have, it makes it a lot easier to not worry about the things I have not yet done or have not yet accomplished. One of the things in my almost 52 years of living that I've come to not just know intellectually, but accept emotionally is that whatever I do is what I do. My story is my story. And my story doesn't have to be exactly like everyone else's story, nor does theirs have to be exactly like mine. We each have our own stories to fulfill, to live out. And that has probably been one of the biggest things I've had to truly work on, is being patient with myself, but also patient in waiting for God's plan. When I stepped out of my own way, that is when I started to find improvement and changes and much better health. So if you are at a point where you are still inflamed and in pain or struggling with mental health issues, please, I just want you to hear that that's okay, because that's where you're at right now. But you may not believe this, but it is possible that that will not always have to be that way, that things can get better. Absolutely, I firmly believe, because I found it true to be true for myself, and it's been true for so many other people who follow this way of eating, is that once you get the inflammatory processed oils and sugars and garbage and all the carbohydrates out, or at least dramatically reduced, you dramatically reduce the inflammation. That helps. That will majorly, significantly help with things like anxiety and depression, eating disorders, mental health conditions like that. It will help improve things where you can see hope and possibility that, you know what, I don't have to do it perfectly, and I don't have to do it as quickly as so-and-so did, or on the same hand, take as long as someone else did. But you'll find your perfect pathway to feeling so much better, to having hope again that it's possible to heal, and perhaps some of those things will be with you for life, maybe. But what it means is you learn to simply manage them in such a way that they're not running your life. And how amazing is that? You might always struggle with some degree of depression or anxiety. That may be just how you were created. Okay. But at least if you're patient and you do the best that you can do, you may, and you work to get out as much inflammation as you can, then you may be able to get to a point where, if it's not gone fully, you can at least manage it. And it doesn't have to control your life. So there is hope. And maybe you're struggling with significant physical challenges, loss of mobility, whether it's from an injury, whether it's from something like fibromyalgia or chronic pain. There's all sorts of reasons. And you could, in fact, potentially see improvement in that. Maybe you're not out walking 3 or 4 miles a day like I try to do, and that's okay. If you can get up off the sofa, let's say, and just walk a few feet to another room without assistance, that's huge. Wow. How amazing would that be? To simply be able to sit somewhere and not be overwhelmed with pain constantly. That's a victory. And I say these things because I have literally been there for almost 10 years. Well, actually, no, that's not true. I started to suffer when I got hurt, when I had a back injury 10 years ago, and I suffered that way, which is still crazy to me, for 6 years, and still needed a wheelchair even as of up to the beginning of July even this time last year. I still needed a chair if I wanted to go anywhere outside of the house. So I have literally, absolutely been there. And whatever time it takes you is whatever time it takes you. But as I would like to be the first person to say, be patient. I'm with you guys. I support you all, whatever your challenges, whatever your journeys. Absolutely, as you guys have been encouraging me, I would simply like to throw in there, but please be patient with yourselves. We heal when we're meant to heal. Depends on how much weight you have to lose. If you have weight to lose, I certainly had 100 pounds more that I had on my body that I did not need. I needed to lose that. I had to heal inflammation, gut problems, and thyroid issues, and fatty liver disease, and all sorts, a host of other stuff, as you guys know. And I would go on with saying, depending on how long you've been sick, possibly sick and fat and inflamed, that will determine how long it takes your body to heal. The longer we put garbage in our bodies, the longer we build up all this inflammation, the more time it takes to get rid of it. And I'm mostly there. There's still that little bit left because, again, it took me 4 years of stubbornness and denial to realize, you know what? Egg whites and dairy are really bad for me, and they've been causing me gut issues, and they've been setting off a histamine response. So it's going to take time for that to get out of my system. I got to be patient. My first full day with none of those things that cause me problems, but it's going to take more than a day for these other things to finally fully clear up. I have to be patient, but it is possible. Just wanted to share that with you guys. Bye for now.